All right, guys, welcome back to the Rolling Grill. It's been a minute, but we are back with another one. And today we have center cut pork chops and sweet potatoes. What can we come up with to put a good meal together with some center cut pork chops and some sweet potatoes? Y'all stay tuned. We're about to do it right here on the Rolling Grill. Yeah, boy. Guys, this is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually smoke these pork chops. I'm gonna show you a simple brine that I'm gonna use to, just infuse flavor, but more importantly, infuse flavor and keep into ensure that these pork chops have a lot of moisture. So, as always, just a clear container. This is probably about 5 cups of water, maybe 6. And I'm going in with the salt. I'm not measuring. I can pretty much tell by eye. That may be close to a half a cup of salt. That's kosher salt. I'm gonna go in with some turmeric. Again, I'm not measuring. Don't go liberal on this though. All right, that's turmeric. You don't wanna go too crazy with turmeric now. A little goes a long way. So that's our turmeric and that's our kosher salt. We got some ground thyme, good stuff. And again, I'm not measuring. That may be a tablespoon. Onion powder. Okay. Nice little bit of onion flavor infused in them pork chops would be great, and I'm not measuring. Because the key to it is you gotta taste it. So, I'm going to whip all this together. All right, the key to it is to make sure you mix it all together. If you want to, a good thing to do is you could do it in a pot and do it on the stove, heat everything up to make sure you break the salt down. I'm just gonna stick this in the microwave for probably about 5 minutes. I'm gonna heat it up real good. Make sure I break all of the salt down. And also, to balance out all the salt, I'm going in with some sugar. And y'all know I love coconut sugar. So I'm going in with 2 handfuls of coconut sugar. I'm gonna mix this up real good. Before I put it in the microwave, I'm going to taste it. And then we'll put the pork chops in. So stay tuned, this is going in the microwave for 5 minutes. But before I do that, let me taste to see if I got my salt levels right. Salt is perfect, sugar is perfect. It's actually really good just like this. But I am gonna put it in the microwave, try to break the salt down a little bit. Be right back, stay tuned. All right guys, we're back. Okay, I put this in the microwave. I allowed the sugar and the salt to break down, let it cool, now we're ready to go. I also added some black pepper. I just wanna make a quick note. When you're making a brine, just remember, a brine is basically to help keep these pork chops moist during the cooking process. So you can add anything to this brine. Any kind of seasoning you want, whatever flavor profiles you want, you can add them to this water mixture, and this pork chops are just gonna suck the mixture up. They're gonna grab some of the flavor, but most importantly, it's going to help keep these pork chops moist during the cooking process. And these are pretty thick cut center cut pork chops. And you just wanna place them in there. And that's it. We're just gonna put these pork chops in there. I'm gonna let them sit in the refrigerator, probably about 4 hours. Then we'll come back in the smoker. They will go, we'll be cooking in the vertical propane smoker over some Western pecan and hickory. Stay tuned. Yes, sir. All right, folks, and just like that, we're ready to go in the fridge. I know somebody's gonna ask me, so let me go ahead and tell you. These are 1 gallon containers. You can get these at any grocery store. I think I may have gotten these at Kroger. They're perfect for brining. The lids are tight. As you can see, when you shake them up, no dripping. So I would highly recommend these. And I think, like I said, I think I got these from Kroger. Yes, sir. All right, guys, I know y'all see, what is he doing here? We're gonna make a beautiful Crown Royal peach tea glaze to go on these pork chops. Yes, Crown Royal peach tea glaze to go on these pork chops. And I'm gonna be using the Cattleman Gold's Carolina Tangy Gold barbecue sauce. If you do not know about this, phenomenal, delicious. I've been using this for years. And a lot of your favorite restaurants probably use it too as a undercover sauce and put something on top of it and you probably wouldn't even know. But this stuff right here is delicious. So let's go ahead and get started. I got a small little saucepan right here. I'm gonna start off with a half a cup. I probably should have turned that down. A half a cup of the Crown Royal Peach sweet tea. And then I got a third of a cup of the Cattleman's Gold barbecue sauce, mustard-based barbecue sauce. I know a lot of people don't like mustard-based barbecue sauce, but trust me, this stuff right here is not your average mustard-based barbecue sauce. This is actually really delicious. And we're just gonna bring the two together. We're gonna let it sit here for probably about a minute or so. incorporated real good. Now, the key to this sauce is you gotta really kick it up a notch. This right here is not really sweet. So, to kick up the sweetness, let me move all this out the way. I'm gonna use a third ingredient. Georgia peach iced tea, Lipton iced tea. Now this stuff right here is sweet, and it's probably the best peach tea that you're gonna put 2 lips on. And so to kick it up, we're gonna go with 1/4 cup of that. All right? And the key to it, we're just gonna cook this down. We're gonna cook it down. If it's not sweet enough for you, get your little sugar, add a little dust of white sugar, but you wanna cook this down. We wanna cook this down as much as we can. As you can see, I kind of ran out of the sauce, so I don't even have any more to put in here if I needed to add more. But I'm just gonna let it sit here for probably about 5 minutes or so on really low heat. Let it cook down, kind of let the flavors concentrate, let the sugars break down, and I'll show y'all what it looks like on the flip side. Stay tuned. Just want to give y'all a close-up of what this is looking like. Kind of like trying to concentrate the flavors a little bit. Break that sugar down. That Crown Royal peach tea you don't really taste a lot of the alcohol, but it's there. It's supposed to have 7% alcohol. But we're just gonna cook it down, see how thick we can get it. And this is what we're gonna use to spoon on top of those pork chops. Stay tuned. All right, y'all, our sauce has been cooking now probably about 5 minutes now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off the heat. Now, this won't be a very thick sauce. If you want it to be a little thicker, then I would say add more mustard-based sauce or pull back on the amount of tea that you add. But just to finish it off, I'm gonna cut the heat off. Just to finish it off, to zip it up a little bit, we're gonna add in 1/2 of a small lime, just to freshen up the flavors a little bit. And as this sits, it's gonna start to really come together. So it's gonna be a little liquidy though, so it's not gonna be thick. If you want it thick, keep cooking it down. But we're ready to go. Let's get on to these pork chops. Stay tuned. All right, guys, and what turned out to be something that was gonna be brining for maybe like 2 hours actually turned into an overnight brine. So these have been brining overnight, 24 hours. So let's go ahead and get these out. It's not gonna hurt them at all. I didn't add any vinegar to them, so there's no, it's not gonna hurt them at all. They're not gonna be cooking in here or anything. But what they are going to be is super delicious and super tender. So all I'm gonna do now is just drain them out of here, put them on a rack, allow them to sit here. I'm gonna pat them dry, but I'm also gonna let them sit here for about 10 minutes and kind of come to room temperature and allow them to like kind of air dry a little bit. And then we'll go on with some cooking spray, some seasoning, and in the vertical smoker they go. Y'all stay tuned. All right, I've patted them dry as best as I can. You know they've been brining overnight, so they're gonna be juicy regardless. And what I'm gonna do, y'all know how I feel about cooking spray. Going on with some olive oil cooking spray. Right on top, easy peasy. And I'm gonna be using my grilling dust to season them up. And I'm gonna go on with just a nice little coat on each one. The brine had a nice amount of salt in it, so you do wanna be mindful of that. These pork chops have, absorbed a lot of that flavor and a lot of that salt overnight. Same deal, flip them over. All right, flip them over, hit them with some more spray on that side and more seasoning. And I'm also going to make sure I hit them with a nice amount of black pepper as well. All right, and let's go on some black pepper. And that's it. We're gonna let these set up, tack up, let that absorb, that rub. And I've already got the smoker lit. I'm gonna be using the strawberry guava wood chips today instead of the pecan and hickory or pecan and oak. And I'll show you guys what the bag looks like. So that's it, y'all. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. All right, guys, and today's smoking wood is strawberry guava wood chips. Yes, sir. This stuff right here, if you've never smelled it, it smells amazing. Kind of puts you in the mind of like a sweet hickory. Let's get started. folks. I'm gonna go in like my middle rack, and they going right on. Alright, we're gonna put 4 on each rack. And this bottom one I'll put right here in the middle. That's it, y'all. We're gonna let them rock and roll probably about, I don't know, maybe about 40 minutes. I'm trying to go as low as possible on the temp. I'm probably gonna try to stay right around 300 degrees. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get our sweet potatoes knocked out. Now, just wanna dice the sweet potatoes up. This is salted boiling water. I use kosher salt. That's it. We're gonna make a savory sweet potato to go with these pork chops. In the pot they go. When they become fork tender, we'll take them out. Stay tuned. Guys, now that we have our sweet potatoes drained off, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a food processor. And I'm just gonna add all of them to the food processor. Now, if you have a whisk, you can use a whisk. You don't have to put them in the food processor. You can whisk it together, do whatever you wanna do. Now, I have butter. If you have salted butter, use salted butter. This is unsalted butter. I'm gonna use about 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Again, these are savory. These are savory. All right. Now, I'm gonna use vegetable stock. When I start pulsing them, I'm gonna use the vegetable stock to kind of thin them out. Also, onion powder to add some flavor to them. Add as much as you want, okay? All this is gonna get pulsed down together. A little garlic powder. I like garlic powder over fresh garlic. Now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put this lid on. All right, guys, I had to switch. I had to switch position. Anyway, what you wanna go ahead and do is just start pulsing. Start adding a little chicken stock at a time or a little vegetable stock, whatever you wanna use. Unlike white potatoes, you cannot overmix sweet potatoes. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna starch up and get starchy like white potatoes. They will become very smooth. All right, a little bit more. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Like I say, you cannot over-process sweet potatoes. Look at that. That's what you want. That's about the consistency you're looking for right there. Perfect, savory sweet potatoes. Now we're gonna take them and put them in a bowl, and then if we need to re-season them or add more onion powder or garlic powder, we'll do it right then. But this is how you wanna process your sweet potatoes. Look at that. Yes, sir. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I still got my butter right here in case I need it, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. And all you wanna do is just spoon them in a bowl. Let me tell you something. I know most people are used to having white mashed potatoes or, sweet potatoes with a bunch of sugar and brown sugar and cinnamon. But if you've never had savory sweet potatoes, these are far better for you and far better tasting than mashed potatoes. I'm telling you, the bomb. That's why when you go to most of your fancy restaurants now, everybody's putting a sweet potato soup or sweet potato under your pork chops or whatever now, instead of white potatoes. You can't overmix them. And when you add the right ingredients like onion powder and garlic powder, some salt, salted butter, you can't go wrong. These are perfect. I've already tasted them. I don't need to do anything else to them. Y'all stay tuned. Let's get to these pork chops. All right, guys, we're running right above 300 degrees. It's 30 minutes in. Let's take a peek. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the bottom of them. Looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and flip them. It's a 30-minute mark. I ain't worried about them drying out. I brined them overnight, so that's not gonna happen. Right there, that one over. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let them rock out for about 15 more minutes, and I'm gonna crank the heat up on them. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We are 40 minutes in. Let's see what we looking like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna let them keep on rocking out for about 5 more minutes. They're super juicy. And then we'll take them out and plate up. Stay tuned. All right there, y'all. There we go. We got some color. Look how juicy they still are. Look at that juice. So they're ready to go, y'all. Total cook time on these was an hour flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my heat off. Just let them sit in here and rest out for about 5 minutes, and then let's go ahead and plate. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all, we are finished. We got our beautiful pork chops sitting right here, smoked over some strawberry guava wood chips. Got our delicious savory sweet potato mash. And you know, we're gonna hit that thing up with some good old garlic infused asparagus. So let's go ahead and plate it up. Fast speed. Yeah, boy.